Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Welcome back, everybody. Time again for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here. Always happy to welcome Deck Shalvey back to Word Balloon. Good to see you, Declan.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Can I get all the bullshit out of the way? Because, of course, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. That's why
I'm here, is it?
No,
typical.
Yeah, I know. Believe me. I mean, we were supposed to actually talk to everybody on Monday, and I was sick. So I asked them to push back, and then, here we are. But
what would one more day, John? What would one more day have been,
Well, then I would have been an asshole. But I'll ask anyway. Like, do you guys do anything, or is this totally American bullshit?
Oh, I have to do a jig for my dinner, I have to,
you don't drink green beer. You don't do it. No, seriously, I know it's a religious holiday, but I mean, really, dude,
It is, but no, it's weird, like the holiday that happened in America kind of
Oh, I'm sorry.
Feedback loop here. Oh no, I mean, there's madness, but I mean, there's a big parade that happens in all the towns and whatnot. But if I'm honest, I ignore it all the time because it gets too messy. Like everyone gets hammered, and I just can't handle it. Like, oh man, I know it's intense, but I don't have the patience for it. So I'll skip St. Patrick's Day.
The same way. Truly, and I mean, especially working in sports as long as I did, and I mean, we would do remotes from bars and everything, and certainly even on St. Patrick's Day, and it was like, oh, good Lord, why are you making us be out there with all the idiots?
It kind of sounds savage, though. Like that kind of sounds like a mental mental day.
It did. God, I got all these covers from books old and new, and I forgot about Savage Town. Shame on me. You're 100% right.
Shame on you.
Yes, one of your fine. Well, I do have Bog Bodies up. And I do have a bunch of the new things ready to roll, because I'm always excited. Not only, of course, your great work in superhero stuff, but I love when you turn to crime. And excited to talk about the new book that's dropping in June. And we'll get to that. But I just got your latest newsletter, and it seems like March is a very busy month. So, this is great. And in fact. Okay, good. Everyone who's already asked questions, we're asking shit about St. Patrick's Day. I'm not going to do that, but that's all right.
That's all right. I don't mind. Look, I can't I'm not in a place to criticize. We literally did a St. Patrick's Day story for X-Men Unlimited this week, so and I'm one to take advantage of the stereotype. I am a stereotype, for God's sake. So.
Hey, man, I'm a Greek stereotype. Oh, and I was going to say regarding parades, I mean, Chicago's so hardcore. We got the regular St. Patrick's Day parade, and then we got the South Side parade, because the South Side's really, just like in Boston, we got a serious Irish contingent on the South Side.
Part of me wouldn't mind seeing, like, a Chicago one for sure, just for the experience of it, I think I'm living in Dublin years. I think I was in St. Patrick's Day once. Sorry, in Dublin once at St. Patrick's Day, and it was just too... intense. Like I don't. It's too hard to get a pint, John. That's the problem. It's too many people. So I'll wait off and go out another night.
100%, man. I'm the same way. It's like I don't mind. I don't mind going to a bar. I love going to bars and stuff. Just not on amateur night. We always call it like amateur night. Like
yeah, going to bars is kind of my thing. Just not on that day. I know myself. I just get annoyed that I'm not getting the pint when I want it. Like, and you're just going to be around people who are just getting too sloppy. And best to I'll save myself.
Dan Fee wants to know if you could batter Stephen Mooney, another favorite of both of ours, and obviously Daniel's as well.
Absolutely batter Steve. I'll just have to sit on him, to be honest. So I'll take him out that way.
Well, it's a very busy cover month for you. You got a lot of stuff. Now this is a variant, right? For or is this coming up still? It's not.
Yeah, that's out. I think that came out last week. To be honest, I wasn't sure why you wanted to talk to me, because I'm like nothing's. It didn't feel like anything's out right now. But I think you're right. There's a lot of stuff out. I think they came out last week. There's a different cover dress on it actually, so it doesn't. I don't think it says Captain Carter. It says Marvel Phase 1. The whole point of that was it was a line of variants where different Marvel artists were doing like basically covers for the Marvel movies, and I was asked to do the Winter Soldier one, and that's my favorite Marvel film, so I was all about it. I loved it.
Oh yeah, me too, man. No, I remember when it was still in production, Bendis emailed me and he goes, dude, I gotta tell you, you're gonna love this Captain America movie. He goes, think 3 Days of the Condor, and of course that's what
absolutely. I loved the kind of espionage aspect of it all, and no, it was savage. I was let down with the TV show, I have to say now.
Yeah, I hear you.
But maybe my expectations were too high, after the film.
Well, it was a little more bubblegum than the film was, and I mean, I thought it was kind of fun and everything.
I know it was just it was. I love that corner of the Marvel universe, that kind of like spy. I mean, reason why I'm doing that in this new book, but like I like that kind of sci-fi / espionage element, and I would have loved to see kind of more. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, look, it's fine. It's kind of mad we're in a day where I'm like, this kind of comic book, high production, massive TV series isn't the one for me, and the other one would be fine. It's kind of mad how glib we are about so much of the stuff like that's being made now. Whereas back when I was a kid, anything to do with comics, I would just be like delighted.
I know, man. We're like Dana Carvey, the comedian, always used to do a bit as an old man on Saturday Night Live. That's what we had, and we loved it. We didn't care if it was shit. We loved it.
Exactly.
Cool,
yeah.
Man. No, I mean, hey, the superhero roasts and challenge of the superheroes, those terrible live action NBC specials. I don't know if you ever saw them.
Oh yeah.
And
like when I was a kid, I thought the Batman Adam West TV show, I thought that was like being made at the time. Like I had no idea it was from the 60s.
Yeah, how would
the way we'd get things? The way we'd get things from America, like you had no idea if it was made in the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. It's just same with those old Marvel cartoons. Like I had no idea they were 20 years old.
Or I mean, in the case of Batman, there was an actual movie made, but I remember Mark Miller telling me that like the 70s Spider-Man show, they packaged together a couple episodes and they released it as a movie. And he saw it and he's like, oh, I'm seeing the Spider-Man movie. He didn't know. And this is in 1979, 1980, something like that.
Yeah, now that they've got fucking Spider-Verses and multiverses, and you're like these spoiled brats. Yeah, I'm talking about Daniel.
And right, and then of course, speaking of one of the Spider-Men, Miles Morales, another variant. I love the hidden. If everyone looks closely, you can see creators that are listed there that are all various Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine or Miles. It just was a way of making it more fun for myself. I like how I managed to make my signature even bigger, so it seems like maybe I'm one of them, but I'm not.
But this is cool. This is going to be a what if Miles were Wolverine.
Yeah, I think it's issue 3, maybe. But yeah, it's. I can't remember which issue specifically, but yeah, that was the. I mean, those kind of covers are just fun because it kind of feels like you're paid to do fan art, But yeah, I can't. You clearly know more about what's coming out right now than I am. I can't remember.
Oh, all good, man. Well, again, I'm it's me lifting images from your outstanding newsletter and everything. And people
Thanks,
should
man.
know how to get your newsletter. You do it monthly.
Yeah, if I have a new website, it's declanshalvey.com. There's a link to the newsletter there. But I've been doing it for years before all these other fancy people were doing their newsletters. But it's essentially, for me, it's kind of a place to just kind of talk about what I'm working on. It's a bit of a work blog, I guess. I used to do, back in the early days when I was starting out on Blogspot, I used to do a kind of a work blog. And I kind of missed those kind of, I kind of missed writing something about what I was working on, like if it was a convention or something at the time. But now, like, it generally tends to be what I'm working on, or a little peek at what's coming up, or, like I think I did a peek from Old Dog in the latest one, and I might sneak in a Marvel cover that hasn't quite come out yet. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do. It's a bit of work, but for me, it's a nice place that isn't social media where people can kind of like follow what I'm going on.
That's outstanding, man. No, and we want to know what the hell's happening with you. I'm excited for this story that's coming up in Electra 100. Oh. So tell us that's you wrote this. You didn't draw this, but do you ever?
Yeah. I don't draw all the time, I guess. Devin Lewis asked if I'd be interested in doing a kind of an Electra Daredevil story, and he knows that I'm just like a simp. Is that the term? I don't know what it is. These terms are these days, but I'm a massive Daredevil fan, and I wrote a story for Electra Black, White, and Blood. So I wasn't expecting to be asked to do this, but it was great. And the artist Stefano, I can't remember his name. Sorry. I wrote it down in the newsletter. I know that, but
is that? Hold on, I'll try and bring it up while we're talking here.
It was basically just like I was asked if I wanted to do a 7-issue Daredevil Daredevil Matt story, Daredevil and Electra story, and like I couldn't say no. It was great fun to do.
That's excellent. Is it Devin? Rather a 7 pages. I'm assuming
7 pages. Yeah, it's just 7-page story. I know that. Right. I think the main story is I can't remember who's drawing it, but it's oh man, sorry, my brain isn't working right now.
No, it's evening time. Your time. It's all right, buddy.
What's the lady from who famous writer from Daredevil?
Ann Neseni.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Oh my god, embarrassing! I couldn't remember that name. I think she's writing the main story, so I assume there's a couple of backups or something.
And Stefano Raffaele is.
That's it. Yeah. Man, he's
beautiful art.
He banged out these beautiful pages. Like the fun thing to do with working with artists is like looking up their stuff and seeing what they're into. And I looked at his Instagram; he had a lot of kind of like very kind of sexy figures and things. And sure. I just kind of had this idea of basically doing a kind of a tense kind of romance story between the two, because it's it's Matt and Daredevil. It's Matt and Electra. What are you going to do?
People are digging it. I like the comments here. That's very funny in terms of get a shave, Matt.
Yeah.
No. Matt's always grungy when he's
exactly. He's a little stubbly.
I kind of like that. I always like that, and especially given that their history is back in college and stuff like that. It always, even in a subtextual way, it always seems like Matt kind of lets his guard down a lot more with Electra than he does with other partners.
True. Plus, I love the stubble. I don't know. I think stubble, a little bit of stubble is part of Daredevil. Like, you wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it with Batman, but I do with Daredevil. There's a difference there.
Sure. You never see Steve Rogers with stubble.
Quite true.
There you go. So, all right. Daniel Fee already doing my job for me and asking good questions. He wants to know about the upcoming Image series in June. Old Dog looks great. And yes, so as Daniel asked, what was the inspiration behind Old Dog?
What was the inspiration? I wanted to draw an old, grimaced, miserable-looking face. That's it. Done. Inspiration. Because drawing pretty people can get very boring, and they all kind of look the same. But I really like drawing. I think it was when I did like some Old Man Logan covers and things like that. I guess it's kind of like a distillation of all the things I've been liking that I wanted to kind of draw in one book. I once was offered a Nick Fury series at Marvel to write and draw, and it didn't work out. And that was just kind of, I did a serial before for the Choosing Sides event. And I just really liked the kind of done in one contained adventure aspect of it. And I liked doing that in Moon Knight as well. Each issue was a kind of a done in one adventure. I liked the idea of expanding that into a book where every issue is its own adventure, but it tells a broader story, and it means every issue I get to draw something completely different. So it's not a book I'd write for somebody else necessarily, because it's curtailed to things like I want to draw, and a type of storytelling that I haven't really gotten to do since Moon Knight. I was kind of thinking a while ago that book came out in 2014.
Yes.
And it's 2022 now, and I haven't really gotten to kind of go back and do something like that again. Not out of any badness, like because we were doing Injection for years, and
sure.
I kind of like meandered around there for a couple of years, but I did a Punisher book that didn't come out, and I felt like that was close.
Yes. But honestly, it broke my heart because we spoke about that, and it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah. And 4 pencils down, and you had this amazing Barracuda, right? Isn't that the character? Yeah. In the 616, and truly, man, it was such a great start, and it was like, yeah, they spiked it. Oh,
yeah, womp womp. But sure, look, what are you going to do? So for me, it's kind of like, again, I think that would have been something similar to for me, like. So again, it was just a case, and I've been having fun on the digital stuff with John, and getting to write and draw and stuff like that. It's all great, but I've kind of wanted to do that kind of wide to kinetic, kind of efficient kind of storytelling. And the cool thing is, like, I don't need to do that on a Marvel book. I can just kind of do it myself, which is brilliant. So I decided that's what I'm going to do.
No, I'm thrilled, man. And obviously you see people saying, before we get to more about Old Dog, people are already, talking about that Barracuda story. Is there a possibility it would be finished? Or is it?
There was one issue left to draw before it was pencils down, but then there was never any pencils up afterwards. So even if it was to come out, I'd have one more issue. It was Ed wrote the script, and I had the layouts done. I was just about to start penciling it. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, seeing what they're doing with Punisher now, I don't see why they would put out the book that was going to be.
Okay.
Not that it was going to be anything controversial. Like, it was in the spirit of Max, but like in the MCU,
right?
But like, I don't know. It's not my
right. It's their choice.
I'm fairly zen about this stuff, man. It's not my book. Marvel own it. Sure, I'd love to see it. It does drive me. The narcissistic show off inside me really wants to show off the 60 pages I drew. But look, what are you going to do? Do you know what I will say? Is sometimes you'll have these stories of artists who like did some kind of project that never saw the light of day, or you hear a kind of rumors and things like that. So I'm kind of trying to look at it like that. Like that's the kind of elusive project that's hidden away somewhere. Will we ever see it? That's going to be my kind of version of it. So I'm trying to see it that way.
I do, and honestly, you're right. I'm a big Tomorrow's publisher fan, and the stuff they release, like Back Issue and all three things, and they constantly will show, oh yeah, here's a Barry Windsor Smith, Captain America story that never got finished.
Yeah, or a Tim, or like I don't know. Bruce Timm was going to do Captain America one time or something. Like, oh man, that would have been class.
Exactly, so, man. You get a little snatch of like a page or a panel.
You often hear DC paying people to do stories, and they just sit on them, and they just they're in the shelf somewhere.
Yes, and even Norton, was it either last year or 2 years ago, had like an inventory story about a couple, and I don't even remember what C-list characters they were. But absolutely, man. It's
so you hear that happening all the time. Not so much of Marvel, but like I said, there's if I was going to be bitter about it, I would just drive myself crazy. So
sure. No, I'm hip, and again, it's not like they've ignored you. I mean, you are doing more cover work for them.
Oh yeah, it's not like they're like this Declan Shalvey books here. Yeah, no, I like they've offered. To be fair as well, like I've gotten like plenty of like great offers since as well, but I just kind of know, like, again, it's not a dig at Marvel, but like if I do my own Image book, like Image aren't going to cancel that before it comes out. Like there's an autonomy that comes with doing creator owned. I can just literally do what I want. I can, which is fairly liberating too.
Deck, I am happy as hell that you're doing this.
Thanks, man.
Again, at the very start of the pandemic, Bog Bodies was just coming out. You had done Savage Town before. I've always enjoyed your original ideas, and I know I'm going to love Old Dog because
Thanks,
just even reading about it, that it's a former CIA op who's right at the end of retirement and tasked apparently with one final mission, and I imagine that's the overarching story. But we're going to see individual chapters with this as well.
The best line, John, is "This old dog's going to learn some new tricks." That's the gravelly promo voice there. But no, like it is.
Films on line 3 for you, Declan. I think they need a cell line from you.
But like this is it's like it's kind of just it's me getting to distill all the things that I like as regards, like, I'll admit part of it is like I could have done a graphic novel or something that I wrote and drew or something like that, but I wanted to do something mainstream. I've done kind of more indie stuff that I write with other artists like the Bog Bodies and Savage Town, but if I'm going to do an Image series, I kind of wanted it to be something that, like, I would totally draw a crime book. Punisher was basically a crime book, but I know that if I'm going to be writing and drawing something every month, I want to have a chance to kind of cut loose and do something weird. So it's a concept that's grounded enough for me to do that kind of like moody storytelling, and also kind of like have like a 10% superhero element that I am known for doing. Like, mainly the stuff I've drawn is superhero stuff, so I wanted to kind of take advantage of that storytelling too. And I don't know, it's been fun. Like, I'm getting to do so. I've thought of some cool stuff. I'm getting to draw it now, which is fun. But yeah, I wanted to make something kind of mainstream action, bombastic, moody, dark, and kind of channel my inner Frank Miller.
Sure, absolutely, man. Very excited. So this starts in June, and
I actually won't be June. It'll be. I haven't announced it. I think I'm just going to push it back a couple of months because I'm on it now, but I think I just want to create a little bit more breathing room before. Sure. I don't want to release it and then be stuck. So I think it's looking more like August now, to be honest. But that's just because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot coming out the gate,
Yeah, Deck. No, absolutely, get it right, and then start.
But the first Old Dog story is out April 12th. No, that's not right. Yeah, April 12th, I think.
Free Comic Book Day. Yeah.
Is it Free Comic Book Day? Is Image issue 1?
Wrong?
No, it's not free. I don't think it's Free Comic Book Day. It's the Image anthology, Image issue 1. It's out. I think it's out April 12th. It has a story by like Scotty Young and Jeff Johns and stuff. But the debut Old Dog story is in that, and that's an original. It's not. It's a preview story of sorts, but it's like an original self-contained story to kind of give people an idea of the book.
Understood. Absolutely. And let's see. I guess Michael's just commenting that August, the dog days of summer. Perfect. Absolutely. Indeed. Dog days. There you go.
I have to remember that. I'm gonna write that one down.
Absolutely, man. And now, would you say Daniel wants to know if you will continue the Shalvey crime verse? Does this fit in technically to that same universe of Savage Town and
No. This is its own thing. No, I would like to. I have an idea for like a graphic novel in that world I'd like to write and draw. Like, I have it figured out. It's just, if I'm being honest, I figured it was better to launch an Image series, and if that does well, I have the kind of space to just do a one-off graphic novel. You know what I mean? I like the idea of doing a graphic novel. I just think that I think the audience would be more on board if I can prove myself writing and drawing a more mainstream kind of book first. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I have that idea and I'd like to do it. I just think the timing isn't quite right. But I have a couple of other ideas too, and it's just a matter of time, really. It might. I've been thinking about what I'd have come out next year. Maybe that's the thing to do. Have another one of those books. But I would like to continue them. Sorry, to answer Daniel's question is, I would like to continue. There's plenty of amazing Irish artists that I'd like to work with, and I think there's plenty of scope to. I do have a kind of an IRA story in mind with somebody.
Wow.
But the problem with that is there's just so much to the conflict Like
Of
where
course,
what every story that came out of that time is fascinating,
I
So
do.
I'm talking to an artist, and so we'd like to do a book, but like it's just trying to figure out where to start. I was actually up
Truly
in
hear you,
Belfast
man.
there a couple of weeks ago, like, and it made me want to do it all the more. But yeah, I'd say that would probably be the next one. But I just as regards when, I'm not sure.
I understand. Michael has a question. I'll let him ask it now. Uh, they want to know if there's any word on injection moving forward. I guess as just injection moving forward. Period.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Like the last time there was a book supposed announced to come out, the image didn't go down too well, so I'm gonna go with I don't know.
Okay.
I'd like to finish it. There's 2 more volumes were planned,
Wow.
and I would like to finish it, but like for the moment, that's out of my hands, really.
Okay.
The we'll see how things go. For the moment, I'm just going to concentrate on my own stuff. Um, I would like to go back and finish it someday, but like, yeah, I there's so much story in there that I was really, really happy with and really, really proud of. But yeah, timing just seems to have kind of been against us and things. I don't know. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Basically, I'd like to do it someday. I just think maybe now is not the time.
Fair enough. I understand, man. Well, and again, I'm glad that obviously you're brimming with ideas, your own creator own ideas. And I think, it's beyond now is the time in terms of, and I'm glad that you're satisfying yourself and putting your own ideas out there. Is it a question of scheduling in terms of have Marvel beyond the occasional short story? Have they ever offered you an ongoing from a writing standpoint?
Well, once before the Nick Fury thing.
Of course. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was talking to them about doing that, but that ended up becoming Punisher. Weirdly, that's kind of what the project that ended up being.
Okay.
And there was another. There's been 2 Marvel projects that I was talking to them about writing a drawing, but they both kind of fizzled out for whatever reason. Uh, Again, not having to go with them or anything, but like that's kind of the benefit of having an image book is like if I have the idea, all that I really need to do is make it.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Marvel side, I was waiting to hear back from certain kind of chains, and it just didn't quite happen. So I can do 2 things: I can kind of like keep hounding them for an answer, or I can just kind of go do my own thing. So that's what I've picked. But the door is open. Like even to do more X-Men, the door is open after I finish that second arc. But I think I've just for the moment I've had my fill of the vertical storytelling. I've basically done a year of it now, and it was an interesting experiment. But like that's not where I feel like I'm at my best.
Is it difficult trying to put your head from a scrolling standpoint rather than
Yeah.
regular reading as far as panel
Um,
composition and all and page
no,
composition?
it's not hard. It's just different. Like I plan it so that it works for print and digital. Um, it helps that I'm coloring it as well because I basically can take the final pages and I can kind of move them around. And in the digital versions, I've kind of maybe expanded some more sky to fit the template and things like that. And the story I wrote for Nick for the Paddy's Day thing was different because I kind of wrote that more as a 10-page story. Whereas the stories I've been doing that I'm writing and drawing, I'm definitely going for a certain kind of visual language that I wouldn't be pushing on Nick. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not very plot heavy. It's more action storytelling that I'm kind of leaning into with those books, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to do it. It's just it's not. It's the for. I kind of feel like I might have done as much as I can with the format for now, and I don't want to kind of. My running joke is kind of Wolverine can only fall down so many holes. Um, you know,
Sure.
like the vertical thing,
Right.
it offers vast amount of space, but it's also quite limiting, and that's interesting and confining in both ways. But after a year of it, I kind of just want to go back to what I was, like the more like kind of like the Hulk, Immortal Hulk story I did, and more stuff
People
along
want to
those
know
lines.
about that. I'm going to go up to the question. Yes. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? Like an old man. Come on. Where the hell is it? Because yeah, people wanted to know what was the backstory of that as I'm bringing up the person's name.
backstory of the Hulk book?
Yeah, what was your inspiration behind the one shot there?
Well, I was going to do Old Dog. After the shutdown and everything, that's when I got my ideas together for Old Dog. I was like, this is what I want to do. But before I do, I'm just going to check in with Will Moss, who's an editor I love at Marvel. And he's on, he puts together some great books. And I just said to him, I was like, look, I'm going to go do this Image book, but like, I'm available for the first time because after Punisher and everything, I said, just let you know, I'm available if there's something you'd like to do. If not, no worries at all. And it just so happened he was looking to assign some one-shot Immortal Hulk stories. So that was basically it. I just kind of pitched a story and I went from there, and I asked if I could color it, and they let me, and that was great because I've been wanting to color a whole story after coloring my own covers for a while, and I got to do it. I got to really dig into a character in a one shot and really own the storytelling, and it was very satisfying. I really liked it. I'd love to do more of that, like to take a character and do something like that.
A character study, yeah, like a one, yeah,
yeah,
certainly.
But like, I mean, I don't know if me doing that on various characters warrants enough sales, would warrant anything like that. Like, and I just kind of found it exhausting pitching Marvel stuff and just not knowing if it's going to go anywhere. I only have so much time and energy, and it just makes more sense to do a creator-owned book where I can do those things. Like I said with the X-Men stuff as well, I got to write, draw, and color the latest X-Men story. So that I've really, really been enjoying that, and I want to do more of that for sure. I'm not interested in working with a writer for the moment. I kind of want to just do my own thing and kind of own my work in a more substantial way. And that's there's a lot of the reasons why I end up doing Old Dog, and that's it. But doing something like Immortal Hulk was a real kind of marker to go like this is what I want to do more of. And I really enjoyed it.
I hear you, man. And honestly, obviously I keep praising you. It's just a matter of awareness. I know. Well, we are friends, but the good news is we were friends, and I've always respected your talent and starting as an artist and truly as a writer as well now. And I just think it's awareness of you as a writer, and that's why the creator-owned stuff is working for you and everything. So,
like, I mean, with the writing and I mean, I've been enjoying the writing, and I really do like writing for other artists. I don't get asked that much, so I enjoy it when I do because I just like working with other artists.
Sure.
It all kind of keeps me on my toes, and I really enjoy it. And if you get paid for it, all the better. But where I was going with that, sorry. But I don't know. I think I'm at the level where if I get to work with John Hickman, that's great. Or Warren, like those sure. are kind of artists. Those are writers that give an artist a profile, which is great.
Certainly.
Now I feel I'm at the level where, I'll get offered stuff by writers who are kind of like, up and comers, and like, I mean, if I'm going to write for an up and comer writer, why not me?
Right. Well, sure.
Rather than someone. I mean, nothing against anybody else, but like, there's only so many drawings in me. And I guess I've actively been trying to like do more of my own stuff because it gives me more control over my career and the types of stories that I tend to do. A lot of artists will just kind of end up in a position where like the next job they do is the one that's offered to them, and that's it. And grand for you, if you're getting those offers, I just know that I'm enough of a pretentious wanker that'll just drive me mad after a while. So, and I like building things. I like coming up with, from the design, like Time Before Time and Bog Bodies. I like having an idea and like shopping it through and making it into a real thing. I like building things. And to be fair to Marvel, they do a good job of like letting you do that as much as possible. But there's no comparison. Like doing it on a creator-owned book is way more fun.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk here. I put up the cover before. Time Before Time, second arc wrapping up, and trade to come.
Yeah, the trade's out next month.
Your artist is leaving after.
Son of a bitch, yeah, he is. Yeah, No, Joe came to us a while ago, and he was, I think he started the second arc, and I think he was just kind of just worn down, and it was like he just wanted to do his own book, pure and simple. And like, as somebody who was planning their own book, I couldn't really go like, no, you can't do that. So fair enough. Like, it's a purely creative decision on his part, and as as crap as it is to lose him, I'm also really excited to see what he does next. He kind of gave me a breakdown of what his story is, and I'm like, this is badass. So I'm actually eager to see that. So we have. So issue 11 is out now today.
Okay.
That wraps up volume 2. The trade paperback is out next month. And the following month we have a one-shot issue with PJ Holden drawing it. And then the following month we have a 2-part story with Ron Salas.
Terrific!
My old comics art buddy.
Yeah, I love Ron. Ron's
yeah, me too. It was really cool he was able to do it. And I'm stepping off the book writing wise for those 2 issues. Rory's writing it on his own, and Ron's drawing it.
Okay.
And we have a connecting cover for those 2 issues, issue 13 and 14. And that is drawn by Ukrainian artist Vlad Legostev. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And we're going to give the proceeds to his B covers towards Ukrainian Red Cross.
That's terrific.
Sorry, that's a lot of time before time stuff. I just want to get it all out there so I don't forget it. But because we do the B covers because I love asking artists to do variant covers. But with everything going on, like, I just kind of wanted to use Vlad's work for something more, get more good out of it.
Understood.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Sorry, just seeing that message. Thanks a million, man.
No, Mark. Yeah, Mark picked up 10 and 11.
Yeah, I was actually DMing Rory earlier. I'm like, I can't believe we've got a second arc done. Like, we just talking about this book for so long, and now we've a whole year of the book done is crazy. Like, and every issue is like every single month for the past year we've had an issue out. With brilliant work by Joe and Chris and Haas and Sasha. It's just a really cool, like, for as much as I want to do this kind of like solo auteur work with Old Dog, like, I also love working with a team, and just seeing what those guys put together is so satisfying.
That's excellent, man. No, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great book, and I'm a big time travel guy. Daniel wants to know, I should ask you about Kevin in Time Before Time.
Oh, Kevin is the robot that shows up in Arc 2, and we came up with him so that Joe could draw a robot because he draws really cool robots, and that's when he told us he was leaving. So, what the hell was the point of that? We're going to kill him off tomorrow now. No, that was cool. I step off with Kevin if I'm honest. Rory, Kevin's voice is all Rory. We'll kind of be going over scripts, and I'll see what like Rory's done, and he's done like these Kevin bits. And I'm like, you like writing him way too much. I can just tell. But he's fun. Like, it's such a wacky character design by Joe as well.
Yeah,
and I've deliberately tried to draw him where I can on a cover if it makes sense story wise, because it's just such a kind of a cool, like, those eyes, really pop.
But you gotta make an action figure of Kevin.
Yes, we do. That would be class. Actually, that would be savage.
Come on, man!
I'd love a little line
on the shelf, man. Come on, yeah.
I'd love a little line of all the time machines that Joe has made. Little kind of models of the.
Oh my god,
they're all so cool.
Oh yeah. I see. You're speaking my language, man. That's what I'm the same way. And again, miniature. I believe I probably told you during COVID.
Well, I have. You can see I have my own. Of my own collection of miniatures.
Absolutely, there they are indeed. And then look at that, some Eagle Moss Star Trek models.
Yeah,
as well.
Those more upstairs. But I think that's probably why I wanted to do little time machines.
And I've been collecting Hot Wheels. The cars. Oh my god, literally. I mean, and
well, really, it's dangerous too, because where'd you stop?
Well, and thankfully, my taste is very bland and middle of the road, so I'm not going for anything exotic and expensive. And like, I bought a mystery machine from Scooby Doo.
Oh, cool!
And it's definitely die-cast metal. The heft of it is so fantastic for being so small. And it was like $8. I'm like, great, fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Under $10. I'm like, fine, sold. So yeah, I've been, and really, like, it's funny. People are like, hey, why don't you get the Ghostbusters car? I'm like, not interested. I got an Aston Martin. I got a '66 Batmobile.
Okay, well, it's good. That stops you from just because I was the same. Like I've got the Batman animated figures up above there as well, and then I got the first few ones. I don't really collect much stuff, to be honest, but I couldn't stop. But then they just kept bringing out more of them. I'm like, I can't keep this up. Like I don't have I don't understand how people buy lots of figures. Like where do you put them? You know,
Eagle Moss was set up in New York before COVID. And I went to their booth, and a guy that was working marketing with them introduced me to the guys. And they're like, "Oh, would you like some free ships?" I'm like, "Yes, I would."
Yes.
So, and I didn't get anything. Well, I'll tell you what I got. I got the Delta Flyer because that's my favorite Voyager ship. I got the Defiant because I love that ship from Deep Space Nine.
I've got the big one and the small one.
Oh, nice. Well, and I see that.
That's the big one there. Yeah.
Well, and but then the other one that I got is a one shot, and it was from a Voyager episode where Andy Dick was the augmented
hologram,
and it was called the Prometheus.
That's it. Yeah, that was a great episode.
Real interesting design for the ship, and I mean, yeah. So now, I mean, really, I would get the Odd Duck ships just because I like the Star Trek aesthetic. Are you watching Picard?
Yes, I'm liking it.
Dak, I was a hater on most live action Star Trek. I am liking it so far as well, cautiously.
It could still go off the rails, but the first one was I was impressed, and the second one I thought was good too. It was a little off in places, but yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board. Like I was very, very down on by the end of the last season, but I'm more optimistic. I haven't bothered. I'm still off. And you haven't asked, but I think it'll come up. I still haven't gotten back on Discovery. I bailed halfway through season 3, and I've no interest in going back.
It's only gotten worse, buddy. Don't worry. It is so annoyingly bad. They're in the middle of a tense, like, suspense situation. We've only got 15 hours before shit explodes, and Saru turns to Michael Burnham and is like, I'm really attracted to the Vulcan leader, and she's like rejecting me. What's the problem?
Oh, God, I was literally going to say, does he talk about his feelings? Yeah,
of course he does. It's all about the feeling, and thank God, it really feels like, and I'm sure you agree, as much of a mess as Picard was in the first season, it feels more like Star Trek this season.
I do. Like, look, they're playing with ideas, which is great. That's more interesting, and there's more character stuff happening. But even though I didn't like the cast in season 1, I strangely like them more now. I guess it's because I feel I actually have a relationship.
Well, I agree, and also they seem more capable as opposed to random ragtag. You're telling me, I guess Rafi is a great officer, but all I'm seeing her doing is vaping and whining about the fact that her son doesn't want to talk to her with his pregnant wife or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, there you go. The fact
this was insane. All that.
No, two in. It's already stronger than the last one, and I love Lower Decks. I think Lower Decks is fantastic. I haven't seen the Prodigy show. It's not on over here, and I can't. We don't have Paramount Plus over here, so I can't watch Discovery even if I wanted to, and I don't want to. So
okay, well,
I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go.
No, go ahead. You finish.
I also watched 2 seasons of The Orville, and I loved it. I got my Next Generation fix out of it. I was like, I can't believe I like the show so much. It just. It takes me back to being a teenager watching Next Generation.
I'm hip. No, and thank God. Well, they're smart. They plucked all the Next Generation. People, writers, and below the line people.
I thought it was going to just be some kind of lame parody, but it's not. It's got genuine great ideas in there and good characters and some laughs, absolutely. But yeah, it's not a. I see it on the Disney Plus thing under comedies. I'm like, it's not a comedy. It's a sci-fi show.
No, he found the balance. The first season was a little wonky, but I really feel like in the second season, as it continued, it only got better. And I just heard Brandon Braga on a Star Trek podcast, and they asked him, they're like, because he's like, can I talk about the Orville? They're like, oh my God, we want to know what's going on. And this is before they moved the premiere to June, as opposed to what it was supposed to start this month. But he's like, hey, I know it's taken forever. We're really using that time to make it the best show that it possibly can be. And it's all the PR bullshit. But the thing is, again, based on the second season, I think they know what they're doing in a lot of ways that Discovery clearly doesn't. And man, I hope this isn't the final season. Did you see that?
Yeah, me too. I'm really liking it.
Did you see the tease they posted a couple
of
months
ago? Yeah, it looks bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't need to be all that. I mean, look, I love all that stuff, but it doesn't need to be all that. I think they were just doing a really good job of like character development and done in one storytelling. It's weird, like with the canvas that say Discovery has to do character development of it, like not being done in ones. You look back at the kind of done in one storytelling, and you realize they did so much with it, and it's kind of even worse that like they haven't been able. Again, I just couldn't care about any of those characters. Anyway, this is the stuff that everyone came to Word Balloon for.
No. This is why I knew I wanted to talk to you. Are you kidding? There was definitely going to be some Star Trek talk in the midst of our conversation. Ramsey has a good question. He is a debuting 2000 AD writer. Congratulations, Ramsey.
Congrats, man.
What would be your advice for a UK writer trying to get an American writing gig? It seems easier for artists.
It's a good question. Again, congrats, man. That's brilliant. That's a good question. It is harder for writers to break in than as artists. You know me, I'm all about art credit and everything, blah, 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 blah. But like, it is harder. That's why I made a point to try and get Write It in Blood at Image, that Roy McConville wrote. And then we did Time Before Time together. Like, yes. The Time Before Time started out as me wanting to get Rory in the American market, because he'd been writing 2000 AD for years, and I'm not besmirching it at all, but yeah, tracker indeed. I'm not putting it down at all, but like, I don't think American writers give two shits about 2000 AD. I don't think they're reading it. It's a weekly anthology series. They might be reading the older stuff, the classic stuff, but I don't think American editors are reading a weekly British newsagent book or magazine. That being the case, I think what'll help you is that you're a professional writer. That's great. I would make your own small book. I think this is good advice in general for a writer starting out, is do like a 30-page story that's a good kind of reflection of the writer you want to be. Like, as if it's a crime story or a sci-fi story, pay an artist to draw it, which costs money. But if it's a well-drawn book, people are going to respond well to the story, period. It kind of doesn't matter how good the writing is. If it's very well drawn, people are going to like it. If you do a really good job writing it, all the better. Pay a good colorist and put it up on Gumroad, or put it somewhere where people can find it and read it. Send a PDF to editors or a Dropbox link or whatever. You need to give people a reason to read your stuff. And if you send them a professional level comic, and you are a professional because of 2000 AD work, I would use the 2000 AD work because I think that gives you legitimacy, rather than just being a wannabe writer. So use that, but I don't think you can send them. You could send like publishers your stories, but again, 5-page done ones are great, and they're good auditions for anthologies. But even at that, like Marvel and DC don't do a hell of a lot of anthologies. They do like Christmas specials and things, and they do some, absolutely. They do try out new writers, but it's not a lot of opportunities. So if you can give them something that looks like it's professional material, they'll read it and take you seriously, and you can build a body of work that, one, you own, and can be a reflection of the type of writer you want to be. I don't know if I sorry if I went off on a rails there. Like, I just feel it's
I don't think you did.
Editors can't hire you imagining the writer that you are. You have to show them.
Right.
And the downside for writers is, honestly, you've got to put your money where your mouth is. You're not going to. It's very hard to find a writer for like 6-issue miniseries or whatever. Also, like, that's crazy. It's a lot of money. But if you save up a bit, you can save enough for like a 20-page one shot or something. 10 pages to start with, maybe. And you can lock down an artist for that many pages and get like good, really good looking work that makes you look good. So I would do that. I would build up a small little body of work like that, and every new story you do will be a new idea that you can show an editor that you have range and that you have different there's different wheelhouses you can play in.
Excellent.
But yeah, that's not a digital S&D by any means. But if I were you, that's what I would do.
There you go, man. Excellent, fantastic, Dennis. Loving late to the party, loving Deck's work, loving time and
Thanks, man.
Time after time. Super excited to check out Old Dog. Any plans for another collaboration with Gavin Fullerton?
I'd love to. I can't say. No, I can't say that. Well, I'm. It's not my news to say. It's well, he's doing a book with James Tinian at the moment on Substack. Called The Closet, and that's really good, and his work in that is great. I'd love to do another book with Gavin, but it's down to if Gavin wants to. He's doing stuff with James Tinian, I think he's doing just fine. But no, I really liked working with Gavin. I think we had a good chemistry, and I just really like that kind of stark storytelling he does. I really love him doing his own stuff. He does his own kind of short comics on Twitter and Instagram, and they're deadly. But if Gavin wanted to, I'd come up with something, no problem.
That's cool, man. That's excellent. We mentioned Moon Knight earlier, and we've got the Disney series getting started. And
what do we?
Yes, indeed. I know.
I've heard.
Are you getting any sort of vanity card? Are we going to see a special thanks deck, shalvey? Or
I assume so. I mean, I try not to take ownership over stuff that could go either way. Like when I saw the Moon Knight's kind of costume,
yes,
the kind of mummy one, I'm like, that kind of feels like the Bone costume we did, but I don't know that. I wasn't in the room when they were designing that. But when you see the suit and like for me, it was seeing him with the rolled up sleeves and the jacket off, like that's literally issue 5. So I think it's safe to say that they were using my designs. Which is deadly. I think I've said to some friends, it's mad to draw something and then have that drawing look back at you. But yeah, so I would be very surprised if I wouldn't have a vanity thing after all the lawyers. Yeah. I'll take it, man. I don't expect anything from that show. I don't own Moon Knight,
No, I get it. It's work for hire, absolutely.
And work for hire, yeah. Again, I'm one to kind of mouth off about stuff if I feel artists aren't being getting good treatment. But I knew the deal going in there. I don't own that. All the more reason to do things like bog bodies, and maybe that's why. Maybe if I was doing just work for hire stuff, I'd be more frustrated. But what I'll do is I'll try squeeze as much attention out of Moon Knight as I can, and go oh, I'm doing a book called Old Dog now. Try do something that way. Nice. I mean, I wasn't timing is in my favor, so we'll see.
Right. But, no, and I recognize that as well. But certainly, no, Deck. Again, you're part of that generation that understood the value of working at DC and Marvel, but by the same token, taking that audience with you to other projects.
That's true. The older generation couldn't have possibly seen how things could go with movies and TV or whatnot. My generation is more savvy to that, and the next will be even more savvy to that too. But I'm under no illusion I own Moon Knight. But I won't say how, but my contribution has been acknowledged somehow.
Wonderful.
Which is great. I wasn't expecting it, but I got something, and that's great. I can't really say. I don't know if I can say, to be honest, but I'll probably find out soon enough. But
yeah, exactly.
And I'm happy with that. That's great. Brilliant.
No, that's wonderful, man. And then rightly so. That's terrific. It was a significant run, and I mean, Christ, I've been a fan since the Sienkiewicz and Doug Munch days. So I'm I'm at the edge of my seat. Very excited to see. I've honestly been avoiding trailers because I really want it to hit me fresh. I mean, I've seen the images. But I'm all right. I don't want to pay attention to it because I really want to enjoy this thing, getting immersed in it.
And it's cool they're leaning into all the weird stuff like this and Ms. Marvel and she there was that Marvel Now line that came out, which was Hawkeye and all that. And I think there was such cool stuff coming out of Marvel that time. It's not that surprising that they're getting it. It's all turning into TV shows now. It's pretty cool.
And also to take more of a chance on the less traditional heroes, because we've gotten the best of the best in the first phase of Marvel, both movie and TV, and now it is like, good, by all means, let's experiment with She-Hulk and Devil Dinosaur and Moon Knight and
there's such wacky stuff. Like, this stuff couldn't have existed. I don't think this stuff could have existed 15 years ago, because now TV movie audiences are used to weird stuff. Like the sky's the limit now. That stuff,
Yeah, in the 90s, you could almost argue that, and I don't know if it came to Ireland. I'm imagining it did well internationally. Shows like The Sentinel, that it really was kind of a superhero show without actually being superheroes. It was guys in leather. It was pre-X-Men, first X-Men movie, but it was that kind of plain clothes people with either supernatural powers or augmented abilities and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were everything but superhero in name. So, and I mean, and again, it kind of came and went as, all right, I don't know what the hell this is. It's an action show, but I don't give a shit. And now, we've had like I said, that first wave of the colorful costumes and everything. And now I think there's room to kind of get a little more subtle.
Yeah, there's that line in the first X-Men film where, they're all wearing leather and there's some joke about the costume and everyone's like, that's so dumb. Like, people do that all the time. It's like, yeah, but not then. If they were in colorful costumes, they would have been laughed at. Like, the zeitgeist was not where superheroes really were, and they had to kind of like soft pedal people into it. And now you can do it, which is great. But I do see this kind of sneering attitude of like, "What? That's so dumb." It's like, no. The people would have absolutely not taken a colorful X-Men film seriously then. Now I think no problem. Like, if audiences can watch films with multiverses and shit, like, there's really nothing you can't do now.
Agreed. And I also think I keep comparing the trajectory of superhero TV and films to Westerns. And I think that in the initial days, it has to be very straightforward. Again, using the Western metaphor, white hat, black hat.
Sure.
But now you can tell different genres within the superhero world.
Absolutely.
And the stories can be more complex and the characters can be more
complex. And it makes that genre more interesting too. Like, a straight superhero story is not interesting, but whatever they're doing with all the shows now, there's a different spin that's bigger than the superhero stuff. But anyway, Old Dog. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Am I missing any of the current projects?
Let me think. So let me think. The X-Men Vertical story I did, Infinity story I did with John Hickman is out.
Right, that's issue 26.
No. That's issue 1 to 4.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
yes.
No, it's fine. It's the first arc I did was with John that he wrote. I drew and colored. That was issue 1 to 4. So that's in print. That's collected now as a one shot, called X-Men Latitude, and that's out March 25th, I think.
Cool.
With a new cover. Currently the second arc, it's kind of a follow up to that story. That's out digitally now on the Marvel app. That's issue 22 to 24. And this week there's a St. Patrick's Day story that I wrote, a Banshee story with Nick Roach and Chris O'Halloran color. Nick Roach drawing it and Chris O'Halloran coloring it. What else is there? Old Dog. I mean, the Old Dog, the debut Old Dog story will be in Image issue 1, April 12th. I may be getting the dates wrong here. I think maybe the same week the Elektra issue 100 story is coming out. Jeez, bloody hell! I've been busy.
Indeed.
I think that's everything. Oh, yeah, covers. I mean, covers coming out all the time.
Sure. Also, Daniel wanted me to ask, are you delighted to finally get to write a Banshee story?
Yeah. I can say it's one of the stories that I was pitching that fizzled out was a Banshee mini that I would write and draw. But it was before COVID, so I think that probably is what kind of got rid of that. Sure. So I had some ideas for it. So it was nice when it was Lauren Amaro at Marvel asked if I wanted to do this story. I was able to take something from that and make it canon. So that was kind of I just felt that everyone goes on about the Summers family in the X-Men, but like the Cassidy family is fairly messed up too. So I just kind of wanted to I wanted to do a little family drama, and like if you can't have a family drama on St. Patrick's Day, then well, what are you doing? So no, yeah, that was great. It was great to be able to do a story, and with Nick and Chris too. Like that was so cool. I can't believe I've written a story for Nick Roach. Like it's mad. Like just it's really cool to do something like that with your friends who are all from the same country too. Like and it was really cool. Marvel asked us all as well. It wasn't something I campaigned for. Like they got onto us, so that was really, really fun.
Beautiful, Deck. Attaboy. Well, really excited, man. Can't wait for the continuation of time and time, and also, pardon me, I'm gonna say it right because I'm an asshole.
Time before time.
Time before time. Excuse me. And then, of course, clearly a big fan. And then, Old Dog. Very excited for Old Dog coming up this summer, and that's starting in issue 1 of Image, just in a few weeks. So that's cool. Very nice, Michael. I'm looking at some final comments. Black Tom and Banshee do not get along in family reunions, according to Michael.
Yeah, that's accurate. Spoilers.
And man, even though it's a little shorty, looking forward to your Elektra Daredevil story in the Elektra 100th issue.
Thanks, man. I'm coming for Chip Zdarsky and his Daredevil. You know,
get him.
If he gets Daredevil and Batman, bullshit. Bullshit.
No jealousy there. Clearly, that's all right, Deck. You're doing your thing, man. And everybody, make sure if you haven't already picked up Bog Bodies and Savage Town, they are amazing and absolutely.
Thanks, man. I'm super proud of those books. Like,
yes, you should be.
Yeah,
buddy.
I really appreciate it.
Truly. And King's Portal wants you to know, Old Dog looks cool.
Thanks, man. No, look, I feel like I haven't done a good job of selling it. Like, but I think I'm just very nervous of like hyping it too soon before the book's actually out. But I'm hoping that short story that's in Image is going to basically like just will be a seal of approval. Once you read that, you're going to know what the book is and want to pick it up.
There you go. Dennis does a great job dragging a conversation out of Deck. We never have a problem talking. We've known each other almost 10 years now, a long time that Deck and
Daniel's being a little shit, John. Don't mind him.
But I like his podcast, I gotta say.
Yeah, fair play. I mean,
I really enjoyed it. I caught a clip of him.
As an American, do you need to slow down the speed? Because like he comes in there like a little red rocket.
I know he's very excited. That's good though.
Yeah,
that's good. You know, yeah, I'm tired, man. I always do my show sitting down, as you could tell. And
I feel like part of me is kind of like I shouldn't have encouraged him, because when he started out, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do your little podcast, little buddy. Rub his head, but and then he's got like nearly every artist and writer under the sun. Like fair play, it's great, but it's a lesson that we should not encourage children. Because it's great. It's great to see. Like it's especially great to see somebody like who loves comics. You know,
well, that's
like
Daniel's
enthusiasm. Daniel. How many people do we know that are pure cynical about it now and just can't, like, it's all this and that, and you know, it's all just causing poking holes, and like someone who can tell just like reads everything and loves it all. Like it's kind of like gives you a little pick me up, you know.
No, he's honestly he's a breath of fresh air, and we need good podcasters out there. I say that as one of the old guard. So no, man, plenty of room, Daniel. Keep on keeping on. You're doing a good job and everything, and we're entertained by what you're bringing, and you're bringing a new conversation to the big discussion, which is always welcome. So that's
I'll balance it out by telling Daniel to stop and to quit. You're being too sincere, John. We can't handle that over here. You got to balance it out with a little undercutting, like, you know, you compliment somebody and then you punch him in the stomach.
Exactly, for a little shit. Exactly, you're doing a great job for a little twerp. Absolutely hilarious. You're killing me, man. Well, I hope we see each other face to face. I don't know. Do you have any States plans coming up?
There was a show during the summer, maybe. I'm thinking of doing it, but it's not one of the main ones. It's a smaller one. Like if they're flying me over, like great. But I not sure. I'd really love to go to New York Comic Con again. It's like that's my pilgrimage every year. But I actually I haven't thought about it, to be honest. And are you doing much? Have you got much planned?
Well, I'm slated for definitely C2E2, obviously in August.
I love
July, San Diego and Terrificon are both in July, and I have a personal relationship with Terrificon, so I'm definitely doing that. I got to see, man, because I don't know if I can handle 3 shows in a, because literally it's San Diego, Terrificon, C2E2, and
also 0 to full gear. Like that's, I don't know if I'd have the energy for that anymore. Like,
I do, and I get
in your head.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, in your head, you're like, oh, I used to do that all the time, but it has been literally years, and the stamina's gone.
You're right, man. No, we got to build back up to it. I totally agree, and C2E2 kicked my ass in December when I did.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that went on. Yeah, it was. Well, okay, that clearly kicked your ass, but it must have been good to be back. Like,
oh, it was, and truly, I mean, I had also done Baltimore and Connecticut last year, so it was nice, kind of getting back into the swing of things, seeing everybody. As I always say, conventions on the road are like really expensive summer camp, because it's like, hey, it's all my out of town friends, and we're all together.
Even like just being able to talk shop with people in person and bounce things off people, and I know we're all talking online and stuff like that, which is great, but it's there's nothing quite like just like talking with other artists about their work and like things that are exciting you and in person over a drink or whatever it is, and I really miss that. I really do. I'm more interested in doing that at cons than like push the booker, to be honest.
Yeah, no. The Thursday before the previous C2E2, right before the pandemic, literally the last convention before the pandemic really hit. It was Thursday, and there was like a dozen of us, and it was Tim Seeley and Scotty Young, and God, I wish I could remember everybody else that was sitting there. But we were all just shooting the shit, and really, they were nice to like let me sit there. But they're all just talking about projects coming up, and the market and what's going on and stuff. And it was just this nice, easy conversation that we all had for like 2 hours.
Yeah, because like I can't keep track of every Slack or Zoom or all the other stuff. Like it's just so hard for me to kind of like focus and get stuff done, and it's kind of like it drains a lot of your sensory fucking levels, and there's nothing quite like just literally sitting down with a couple of guys and just kind of getting it all out, and I'm lucky I have friends here in Ireland I can do that with, which is great. But
who are your guys? I mean, I know they're familiar names to all of us.
Well, I don't know. There's a Steven something or other.
Yeah, that Mooney bastard, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, we'd see each other fairly.
Sliney too? Is Sliney one of your guys too?
Yeah, I haven't seen, but Will lives in Cork, so I haven't seen him in. Oh, jeez, no, I've seen Will. Years now at this stage.
Wow.
But we all keep in contact though. Like same with Nick and Nate Stockman and
sure.
I wouldn't say they're all various parts of the country, so it's more Mooney I see because we're both in Dublin.
Understood.
But it's good just to be able to have that access nearby. You take it for granted, like
Of course. No, I'm excited for the spring for Mooney with Rocketeer and what he's got coming up and stuff, and
Look, as far as I know, the same day is Image Issue 1. So whatever you do, get that.
Fuck that guy. Then.
Image Issue 1. If you have a bit of money left over, get Rocketeer 2. But prioritize on what's going to be really
all right.
good, which is
all right. I understand. I'm talking to Dex, so again, fuck
I know, that book looks great. Like that guy was born to do that book. Like
Half Past Danger. Good Lord, I love that series and everything he does, and it's like, and
it's stupid. It's stupid how someone didn't think of it before. It's just like it just makes it's like saying, should Frank Miller have done Daredevil or something? It's just like there's a character like so suited to Mooney's sensibilities, and Mooney's completely proven himself as a writer and artist. So like just put those two great tastes together.
I'm with you, man. Well, and I'll let me echo King Sport Cal saying I've always wanted to visit Ireland. He's friends with a lot of Irish people, as am I, and
come on over.
You and or Owen McCauley invited me to do the one of the conventions that he's involved with.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And
that just was on this weekend, actually, the Dublin Comic Con.
Oh, there you go. And honestly, it was too early for me to accept March. I hope as I had a little sick bout a month ago. I'm much better now, and I'm just getting my strength back. And again,
look, I think we're all just kind of gearing up to that. Same here. I was invited to a couple of things. It's just a bit too soon. I'm gonna have to just jump on things. Like I need to kind of psych myself up, I guess.
There you go. And goddamn, in fact, maybe I'll do an Irish too for tomorrow. Release your episode and also this brand new one as far as the audio goes. And remind people too. I talked to Owen about his online comic about the Irish Zorro.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, just forgot he was doing that.
Intriguing story, absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. There's so much, like, especially like a lot of indie stuff coming out of Ireland now, and lots of people who are like were indie and now they're like between Stephen Byrne and Nate Stockman and Will and like there's a Chris and Trina coloring all these great books. Like there's just so much stuff been made in the country now. It's actually really hard to keep track of now. Before it was just three of us, so who cared?
I know, no,
an army of us now.
That's wonderful, and I'm so glad that people are becoming more and more aware of the Irish product and everything. And again, I think there's plenty of room for good content, everybody, and we're glad that you're all making it. And really, everything you're doing, not only in comics, but also just building the studio and the hand you're giving to a lot of creators to get them more awareness and everything. That's excellent, man. So well done, as always.
Oh, thanks, man.
100%. There you go. I can't help it. I gotta praise you. And I hear fuck you. Okay, so I'll shit.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
Oh,
let me balance. All right. Deck Shalvey, everybody. Always great to talk to Deck, and
anytime, man.
For the product that's coming up. So everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Probably off tomorrow, but on Friday, Kinescope, we'll be talking about Shower of Stars, this very lighthearted comedy series. And one episode, we're going to feature our Fred and Ethel Mertz, William Frawley, and Vivian Vance in a baseball musical comedy. So that'll be the subject. It's me and Deck's old collaborators, Gabe Hardman and Jeff Parker, joining me. So, yeah, good conversation.
Little rogues.
Indeed. Absolutely. So look for that. And until then, everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Thanks for watching.